Good morning, my gorgeous friends on the internet. In this episode, we are going to build out this website. We did the design previously on this one, so this is how it looks. We only used one color, and no, people were like, well, it's not technically one color because you use black and white. Well, if I would have used only one color, this whole website would have looked like this. Yeah. There you go. There's the finished website, everybody. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. So obviously, I could have not done that. So we used red basically everywhere. And I did a bunch of these HTML and CSS websites before, but hey, since a lot of you really guys like it, let's make another one. So let's build this out. The files, I'm gonna have everything in the description so you can have access to it. And yeah, let's open up VS Code. I'm going to leave this open just so we can kind of copy the text. If you want to make part 1, feel free to make part 1. It's like 2 or 3 videos behind. Just search for this thumbnail and you can find it. But let's build it out. So we're going to go to Visual Studio Code here. I'm going to pop this open and just make a new folder here. So open folder. I'm just going to create a new one very quickly here. And let me just make a new window so you can see what I'm doing here. There we go, open folder, and let's just make a new one. I'm gonna call this one color tutorial. Okay, let's pop this open. I'm gonna close everything up here. So for this one, we're gonna be using Sass just to make our CSS a bit easier. If you don't know Sass, don't worry, you can still follow along. It's really not that difficult. But first of all, let's just import the images. Again, I'm gonna put the whole file there for you. So it's here with all the images so you can exactly follow along. But yeah, so let's make the index.html. There we go. I'm gonna hit Shift and 1, which is gonna give me the exclamation boy, and hit Tab. So we get a nice boiler platoon. Okay, so the fonts that were, let's just fix up the fonts now. So we used Lobster on this one and Montserrat on this one, right? Yeah, okay. So for that, we need to go to the Googles. Go to the Googles and search Google Fonts. There we go. Hit that all up on the floor. Smack that. Okay, so Lobster, the Akon song is in my mind. Okay, so this is the one. How do I download it? I have no idea. Select the style. There we go. There we go. Success. And let's also go back here and search for Montserrat. Montserrat. This is the one. Click, clickety clackety. We're gonna go for regular. So select, and also, I mean, we can either go for medium or semi-bold. Let's go with semi-bold. So select. Okay, then we're gonna go here to embed, and we're just gonna copy this whole sucker over. I'm gonna leave this page open just so we can copy the CSS rules over as well. I'm just gonna plop it to the side for now. So let's just go back here and just paste this in like that. Okay, so this loads up basically all the fonts. I think so. Yeah, Lobster, Montserrat, good. Let's rename this title. So our website title is gonna be one UI color or something, whatever you floats your boat. And finally, let's fix up the Sass. So we're gonna be using Sass, and the reason why we're gonna be using Sass is because it makes our lives easier. We can kind of take all of our CSS and each section of our page and kind of separate it into their own separate files. So again, we're not going to be doing anything super crazy, but basically the extensions that we're going to use are these. So go here to the extension and search for Sass. Okay, and it's going to be Live Sass Compiler. So make sure you install that. And I also have Live Server installed. So search for Live Server, okay, and install this as well. Good, very good. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, so now we can start. I can name here, where we can make a folder, styles, like that. And in here, I'm gonna make a new file and call this style.scss, okay? So SCSS, not Sass. There we go. Okay, so now what we can do is you're gonna have a little button down here. Let me see if that shows up. Yeah, you have a little button here that says watch sass. Now here's the cool part. I can grab the body or something. I can add a display flex and justify, ooh, what's happening? Justify content center and hit save. And when I hit save, I can click the watch sass and just leave this open and close this up here. So that's, if you get the watching here, that means it's working. Just close this sucker up and look, it generated us a style.css file. And the cool part is it also adds basically all the compatibility for Microsoft. So if you're using Internet Explorer, then stop doing web development, okay? But it adds everything to make it compatible on all browsers, which is super nice. And now we can have superb functionality with separating files and just combining everything in here. You're gonna see in just a bit. But what we're gonna do, your index.html should link the CSS because it can only read CSS. It cannot actually read the Sass file, right? So that's what we're linking here. So go here and just link the CSS file, styles, style.css, and that's it. Okay, let's start making the first page. So here, basically, we have a simple nav bar. We're kind of going to modify this. We're not going to make it exactly like this. Just up here, we're going to kind of change up the names here. But everything else should kind of be the same. So let's start off with the nav. So for the nav, let's go here in the body. I'm just going to create a main tag in here. And in here, we're going to add a div with a class. I can just add the dot and just say nav container. You're going to see why I'm adding the nav container in here and not just nav like this. So this nav container is basically going to have the background on it here. And basically the reason why I'm adding the nav in here is because I want to make the width smaller. So as you can see here, it has like the width 80%. And then I can kind of move it to the center. And you're going to see in a bit what I mean. Let's just make it now, and then it's going to be easier. So let's just make a H1 here. I'm going to give this an ID of logo. Okay? And this is going to be called Leica. And that's it. And next up, let's go. Let's do everything. Yeah, let's do everything in here just so I can make the display flex easier. So I'm going to add a UL in here and just add two LIs. So LI, A, and this is going to take me to features. And here we're going to say features. All right. Now, if you want to create a quick copy of this, you can hold Shift, Alt, and press down. Boom. Okay. This one is going to be, let's do soon or something. I'm going to add order. Let's also add classes to this because I did not. Actually, let's just add one to this because I want to color this differently. So the order button, I want to be able to select this separately. So I'm going to say order. Okay. So that's the nav. Let's also build out the first section and then we're kind of going to stop. So here's the main. And after the div here, so after this whole nav container, we're going to create a section with a class of home, like that. Okay, in here, I'm going to create another one called showcase. We're going to have a H2 here of Leica M6. All right, so we're adding the titles and everything. So this one, Leica M6, now we need the image and this small little box here. So text. We're going to have an image. Oops, what am I doing? What am I linking here? Image dot slash image. And this one's called camera one PNG. Okay, so camera one PNG. You can add the alt if you want. I'm going to keep this short and simple. Now we're going to be using, what am I going to be using here? We're going to be using grid. So I can just add them like this. H2, image. And for this one, I'm actually going to add this in a div because we're going to have a header and some paragraph down here. So I'm going to make a info div or something for this one. And here we're going to have a H3, small but powerful. You can add any text you want and a paragraph. So I'm just going to copy this from here The new like whatever. Fake news. It's actually not true, but it is what it is. Okay, so there we go. That's it. That's all we need for now. We're gonna create 2 more sections in a bit, but let's kind of start styling this thing up. What's happening to my body? Let's open live server. Look at that, and we are done. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Let's just go here to style.css, and this is the part where we can start kind of splitting things up in our Sass. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete everything from here, and we're gonna go to the styles and just make a new file. So hit plus here, or this one. I'm gonna create one called underscore home.scss. So what this underscore basically means that it's a partial, and what you can do with a partial is you can kind of import it in another place. So what I mean by that, well, check this out. I can just say body is sexy, color is red, and then I can go here and just say import home, like that, just home, no partial, no underscore, no nothing, and hit save. Okay, and now take a look. We go to style.css, everything still works fine, but I can separate it so I don't have a super large file, just one super large file. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna, well, what I like to do is in here in the style.css is I like to add some basic kind of global styles. So what I'm gonna do is say HTML font size 62.5%. and hit save. So what is this 62.5%? Well, I like to do this because I like to work with rems. And if you add 62.5% here, basically one rem is gonna mean 10 pixels, all right? Not 1.6. So this just keeps the math easier. Now everything on the website is gonna be way smaller like this. So we're gonna have to adjust everything. And I did. So what else I like to do is just grab everything by using the star symbol. And I can just say margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. All right, this just gets rid of all the basic paddings and margins, and I'll add it afterwards if I really want to. Now, on the body, I generally like to add the color white here because most of the things on the website here are white, like the text and everything. Almost, not this one, but it's okay. And I also like to add the font family. Now, if you remember, I told you don't close the Google Chrome tab if you had it open. Hopefully you did. Where is it? It's here. So copy over the font family of Montserrat. If you don't have it, then you need to manually do it. Like this. Font family, Montserrat. Okay, hit save. Let's see what else we need to do here. Let's adjust the H1s and the H2s and all those good stuff. So for H1, I picked a font size of 2.5 rem. And the H1s here are basically the title here, the logo, and the footer logo here. Okay, so I don't want that to be super huge. So that's 2.5 rem. And I also want to change the font family on this because I want to have that lobster font. So I'm just going to copy this over here, change this to lobster, like that, and the font weight is going to be lighter. Hit save. So let's take a look at that. There we go. So now it looks nice. Very, very nice. Why is my color red? Oh, let's remove this from here. Okay. Good. Okay, so let's start with the H2s. I kind of like to do all of these globally here, to be honest. Kind of set it up because then I can just make my H1s, H2s, H3s, and whatever, and it's going to have a consistent style across the whole website. So I highly recommend you to do this. Just add the kind of the global styles at the beginning. So let's do a font size here. I choose something really big here, 8 rem. Font family is going to be lobster. I'm just going to copy these two over here. Okay. Let's do H3. This is going to be a font size of 3.5 rem we picked. And H4, font size of 3 rem. This is the funnest part of web development. I cannot believe like watching somebody's tutorial and it's like font size 2.5, font size 3.5, H1. Oh Jesus. Okay, 2.5 rem on the P, because I like to P. The LI is gonna have 2 rem. Your mom has 5 rems. The A tag is gonna have a color of white and a text decoration of none. Okay, that's it. I promise, that's it. The problem now is we cannot see anything, only the crappy camera. So we can start in the home. So let's go home. Soldier. By the way, The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out, if you don't know. That's a game. And I'm really disappointed because I saw the spoilers and I'm kind of contemplating if I should either buy it or not. So if you know anything about The Last of Us, tell me if you're gonna play it or not. Okay, so let's grab the home. We're gonna add a background. We're gonna use this linear gradient here. So it's kind of like grayish and kind of dark there. I have it here, so I'm just gonna copy it over and you can add it manually. So it's a radial gradient and it's 525. You can read it. You can read it, don't be lazy. Hit save. Okay. Let's see. There it is. Amazing. Okay, so we want to fix the top portion because it's currently not nice. So I'm going to grab the nav container and I'm going to add a background of black. All right. Or you can do kind of a lighter color. It doesn't need to be full on black. 34, 35. 7. There we go. So something like that. Okay. And then we can grab the nav. So nav, and this is the reason basically why I added a nav container here. Because remember, I tried to explain it to you and I did a very poor job. So here is in practice. So why did we wrap this and not just add a simple nav? The reason why I did this is because I want to add a width of 80% on this one and a margin auto, which is going to move all the content to the center like this. Now, if I did not have this nav container and I just added the background on the nav, then I would have had this. See? So I don't want this. I want this to stretch all the way, the background. So I just wrapped it around the nav container. Okay? Okay. So we have that. I'm going to add a minimum height to this of 10 VH. All right. I want to have a specific height on this. Just add a bit of padding, 3 rem on top and bottom, like that. And then 0 rem left and right. Then we're going to add a display flex. This is going to move our content kind of like from left to right. All right, the children basically. So the logo and the UL are going to be put one next to each other. And then we can move this all the way here. So to do that, you can do justify content, space between. Hit save. As you can see now, that gives space between the children, so the logo and this one. Now, if we want to align these vertically, we can do align items, and we can say center. There we go. So now it's perfectly in the center. Now I want the same thing to happen to the UL. I don't want these to be in the column, so we can do that too. So what we can do now is we don't need to do nav UL because we're working with Sass. I can just go in here in the nav and I can just type in UL. And that basically means nav UL. Wow, magic. So in here, I can display this flex again. So it's going to move it one next to each other. Okay. Then if I add justify content space between, because that's what I want to do, the reason why I do space between and not space around is because I want to maintain this nice line here. So this kind of matching up with this and this and this matching up with this and this. All right. So why is this not moving? Well, if we take a look, oh, What's happening? What's happening? How they zoom out? Just give me the normal one. Oh, here it is. 100%. No, 50%. How do I out-zoom this? Oh my goodness. People say why I don't use this. I just go like this and just remove the responsive crap. Oh my goodness. There we go. So if we take a look, basically the size of the UL is the size of the text. So we need to basically grow this so the justify content works, because right now it doesn't have any space. So we can use flex 1 to do that. So what we can do is add flex 1. Now flex 1 is basically going to take up all the available space here, right? So basically we have the logo, and the rest of the space, it took it all up. So now as you can see, space between just puts one here and puts one at the end. Now I don't want this much space, so what I'm going to do is add a flex 1 to the logo too. So what does that mean? Let's take a look. Logo, flex 1. So now it basically splits the available space. So whoops-a-daisy, I did a little mistake. I added the hashtag here at the logo. So let's get rid of that, because that's not going to work when we add the logo. So now if I just say logo here next to the UL, wait, that's not good. Logo. If I add flex 1, this is going to be the same size now, as you can see. So this takes up half and this takes up half. If I want to give more, I can just add more to this. If I add 2 here, it's going to take up twice the space. So now this one takes up twice the space as this. So I'm just going to leave it at 3. We're going to say 3. Flexerino 3. Good. All right, let's see what else we need to do. Oh, how do we add this red thing? Well, I did a little hack and I thought I'm going to show you. We can add a position relative to this. And now in here, I can add an and symbol and colon after. And this is a way you can insert another kind of text or element or style specifically in your CSS. So basically if I add content here, and you need to add this or else it's not going to work. If I say something like blah, 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 as you can see, it kind of generates more text, even though we didn't add it to the HTML. So I wouldn't really recommend using it this way. So I'm going to remove the text, but I recommend you to use this to add additional styles if you want. So what I can do now is just say position absolute. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I can place it directly on top of the logo. So if I say top, ooh, what am I doing? If I say top 0 and left 0, it basically adds it relative to the logo. That's why we added position relative. So now we can add a width to this. Let's say 6 rem and height 6 rem, and then add a background of, and we use that red. So F54538. Hit save. Okay, let's take a look, and there it is. Take a look. So again, if we did not have position relative here, then it would just add it top 0, so at the top of the page, and left 0. But since we added position relative, it's going to stick it where the logo is. So now we kind of need to move it around a bit because it's not really on top there. So I can add let's also add a border radius and make this round. I can just say 50%. And now I found this works best, so we can do a transform, translate, minus 10%, comma, minus 20%. Now the problem is we cannot see the text anymore. Now we can mess around with z-index and just z-index everything, but I'm lazy and I found a little trick. What you can do is just say mix blend mode and just say screen, and it works. So there we go. No more z-index issues. Okay. Let's also mess around with the order. So I'm going to go after 1 and 2 curly brackets here. I'm going to say order background. We're gonna copy it over this color. Save. Padding is gonna be 1 rem, 2 rem. You can also create variables using Sass. So maybe grab this color and just add it to a variable. We don't really have that much. This is not really that complicated of a website, so I did not do it. Guilty. Border radius, let's add 2 rem. Okay, just kind of add a little background to this as well. Okay, what else do we need to do? I should have removed the... should have removed the UL here. So let's go back to the UL, just say list style, and just add none, and hit save. All right, so get rid of those dots because we don't want them. Okay, you know what? I actually should have used Firefox to this because I can illustrate the grids easier, because that's how we're gonna do the next step. So I'm gonna just pop open Firefox here. All right. And I'm just gonna copy the link over from here to Firefox. I'm gonna close this up, just drag this in here. Nice. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna be using grid. So I can easily place this here, this one in the middle here, and this one down here. With, with display flex, it can be a bit tricky to get everything nice. So I just create a grid for this one. So I'm gonna grab showcase, display grid. All right, I'm gonna add a minimum height of 90 VH. There we go. Grid template columns. Now, what do I want here? Well, I still want to keep, basically I want to create columns, right? So I still want to keep that 10% margin here. So I'm going to do 10%. And I'm also going to say repeat 3 times 1FR. All right, so basically create 3 columns that are the same size. That's all this means. And then 10%. So let's take a look, because we can nicely visualize this in Firefox. So take a look. If I turn on the grid, so we have 10%, we have 1FR, 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 and then 10%. Now this is larger because the image stretches it out, but we're gonna fix that in just a bit. So yeah, so as you can see now, this basically starts exactly there where I want it to. Now I also want to create rows, right? Basically I want to create 3 rows. So 1 row where the text is, then 1 in the middle and 1 down here. So let's do grid template rows. I'm going to create them 1FR, 2FR, 1FR. So basically 1FR, 2FR, 1FR means here is kind of like flex 1, right? And flexbox. So basically the middle one should have twice the space as this one and this one. So basically this one should be 2 times bigger than the space of the text down here. And again, we can see that, so don't worry. So as you can see, this one is small, this one is super big, and this one is small. So now let's move everything in their position. So what we can do is just in here in the showcase, just say H2. So I want to grab this text and place it here. So the way you count is from all the way to the left. So you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I want to place this in here, I can count 1, 2. So from 2 to 3. So I can say grid column 2 to 3. And there it is. We can do the same thing to the image. Image. This we want here, it's fine, but I want it down here. So what we can do is we can say grid row, let's count again. So now we count from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if I want this to be here in the middle, 1, 2, so from 2 to 3. Grid row 2 to 3. Hit save. Now it might not place it there because grid is trying to automatically do it for you. So if this does not work, you also need to specify the column. All right, because we just added the row, it should be on the second row, but we never specified the column.
You're not filming? Are you filming?
Yes.
I thought you were watching a video. I'm sorry. Love you, Bobsy. Oh my god, I'm so tripping. I thought you were watching a video.
Get out! Okay, so let's also specify that this should be in this column right here in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from 3 to 4. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Math is confusing sometimes. Yeah, it's from 3 to 4. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Grid column from 3 to 4. Let's see. Yeah, so it's in the middle now. Okay, very nice. And now this one should go down here. So let's count the column. 1, 2, 3, so from 4 to 5. Okay. So let's grab the info and say grid column 4 to 5. Okay, but it should be down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So from 3 to 4. Grid row 3 to 4. There we go. So that's it. It's not that difficult. It's very easy to kind of position things the way you want. And get this kind of nice layout going. Now, there's still a few changes I want to make. So as you can see, this is 2FR, so it's 2 times bigger than these two. But the thing I want to modify is I kind of want to push this down here. So let's go here and just say align self flex end. All right, just pushing this down here. Very good. And for the image, I actually want to, let's see what happens kind of when we resize. So nothing really happens. So what I want to do is also make this a bit bigger, but not mess it up. So if I add a height of 100% to this, let's do 120%. So I'm going to make it even larger, like that. It kind of goes out like that in a weird way. But I also want this to resize. See, it kind of breaks. It looks terrible. So what I want to do is go here and just say object fit cover. Like that. And then let's see what happens now. Basically, it kind of keeps itself in this grid, but we also need to add align self center and justify self center. Hit save. There we go. Let's take a look. Open this up. Where's my grid? There it is. Pop this open. So now it's kind of in the center. Even if it leaves there a bit, it's fine. But okay, it's not working. You know what we can do is we can add a resize here to the columns. So what I can say is repeat 3 times 1FR, but I can also add a min-max to this. So what I can do is say repeat, get rid of this, comma, and just say min-max, like that. And then here I can say 5 rem and 1FR. So it's going to become smaller. Oh, also make sure you remove the dash here. It's min-max together like that. So basically what this means, it allows it to shrink down to a smaller size. So now I think we shouldn't have that problem. So let's turn on the grid. All right, I'm just kind of messing around with this and see what works. Yeah, so now as you can see, it kind of stays there, which is super nice. And it doesn't really fall apart. I can go smaller and then just add a mobile thing down kind of here to kind of fix things up. Okay, so it doesn't really break that bad. Again, you can kind of do different things here. You can mess around with the width, maybe do something with that. I kind of want to keep it the same size, so that's why I kind of just added the height here. The cool thing here is you can make this as big as you want, like that, if you want something really big, and then it kind of stays the same size. I'm going to keep it 110% to 120, something like that. That's fine. Okay, lastly, just add a bit of padding down here. So in here, the info, I'm just going to grab the H3 and just say padding, bottom. Let's add 3 rem to this. And yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's the first page. Let's go into the index HTML and just create another section. So for this one, we used grid. For the other one, we're just going to use flexbox again, I think. So again, I'm going to create a features container just so we can do the width and margin trick. And I'm going to add the section in here. So section, features, and then we're going to have the cards. So I'm going to add the title of features. And in here, we're going to have cards. So I'm going to create a cards div. And in here, oh, my nose is so itchy. We're going to have card. Yeah, let's just do card. And in here, we're going to have an image. I didn't name these super nicely, so I apologize, but it's card 1.1. All right, let's add a H4 here. We're going to say 4K 60 FPS. And let's add a P. Get those slow motions, my boy. Okay, so that's 1. Let's copy this and create 2 more, 1 and 2. Hit save. I'm just going to modify this to 2 and this one to 3. Okay? I should have removed this. If you want to remove it, and just modify it in the image folder. Okay. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Lastly, we have a little wave going here. So this one, so let's also add that. Where do we need to position this? So we have the section. Let's do it after the section. I'm just going to add an image with a class of wave. Let's add this after. At the end, we're going to come back to this. So again, I just go to the styles and create a partial with the underscore. Call this features. Features.scss. Okay, go back here to the styles and import it. There we go. Hit save. Something is not correct. Okay, let's rename this one. It's features, like that. Save. Okay, now it's working. So close this up, close everything here, just go to the features and let's work on this. We're gonna grab features container. We're kind of gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna add a gray background to this, 323232. I'm gonna add a position relative. Actually, I'm not going to add this so I can explain you why I'm adding this. And just keep it like that. Just add the background. We're going to grab the features and just do a min height of 90 VH. Just add a bit of height. We're going to do the margin trick, 80% margin auto. Okay. So this is what we have. So everything is aligning up nicely again. And now what we can do is add a display flex. All right, there we go. I'm gonna do so this basically adds a display flex to the title here and the whole card system. All right, not the individual cards in here. So now I'm just gonna add a flex direction of column and a justify content of space, between. Let's do space around. Okay, so just adds a bit of space around these, the features and the cards. Now the cards are taking up all the space, so we're going to grab all the cards like that and add a display flex to this as well, like that. All right, so basically this is the space between the title and the cards. This is what happens up here. So now here we can do justify content space between again for these to kind of spread around, which is nice. Okay, the text here should be black. Now get all the individual cards. So cards in here in the cards. We can add a background of white. We can add a little margin, 0 rem 3 rem, like that. Oops, I messed it up. Like that. Okay. So this basically adds it left and right. We're gonna grab, let's do, what do we want to do here? We want to also move the text in here. So let's do display flex, flex direction column, like that. And as you can see now, it stretches the image out nicely. I want the text to be in the center. So let's do text align center. There we go. And we're going to stretch this box out using everything in here. So don't worry. I think that's going to be it here. So after this, still in the card, we're going to add a H4. Just add a bit of margin to this top and bottom. It's going to be 3 rem and then 0 rem left and right. So it gives a bit of space here. And now we can add a P here. Just add a padding of 2 rem. So now it stretches the box out nicely. Now this still looks bad. Why does it look bad? Let's also change the text here. Lorem 10. Let's do, I don't want that much text here. There we go. Let me just copy over this here and here so we have more text. Oops. Okay, just a bit more text. I don't want the images to look like this. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is we go here and grab the image and do object fit cover. There we go. It doesn't look terrible anymore. I can also add a border radius here of 2 rem. And now it makes it nice and, what do you call this? Round. But you're going to see a little thing. It doesn't make it round here. Why not? Why is it not round here? Well, because the image here kind of stretches outside of the box. So it doesn't really go down like this. So to fix this, if you ever encounter this, if you have a card system or anything and you have an image in and you add a border radius to the card and it doesn't basically add it here, the solution to this is to add a overflow hidden. So you go here and add an overflow hidden to the card. And now it cuts off the image basically, and it makes it nice and round. So there we go. That's what we have. We can add a bit more margin here if we want more space. Let's do, not to this one, up here to the card. Let's do 5. You can do 10 or something if you want something like this. It's kind of up to you. Should we, I think this looks better. Yeah, let's keep it 10. Yeah, there we go. Feel free to modify the text. Maybe the space in between here is too big. 2 rem. Yeah, I guess. We can do, let's do top. So this is top, this is right, then this is bottom. 1 rem bottom. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit nicer. And then 0 rem left and right. Okay, so something like this. You can experiment with this if you want to make it look nicer. Okay, now let's add a little bit of wave in here. So that's why I kind of didn't focus on here. So let's go back here, and after the div, I believe. Let me just double check so I'm not messing things up again. Yeah, so after the section here, this is the container basically, right? So features container. So right above that, we're gonna add an image with a source of /, and we're gonna go here to the wave PNG. Okay, hit save. I'm also gonna add a class of wave to this. So now, how can we make this look nice? So it's down here. We want to have it right here. So what we can do Just go up here all the way to the features container. And we're going to add a position relative to this. So I want to move this based on the features container's position. So in here, I can add the wave and say position absolute. And basically, the left is going to be 0 and bottom is going to be 0. Okay, and the width is going to stretch all the way to 100%. So there it is. Okay. Now again, we need to kind of mess around with the z index here. So if I say z index -1, all right, it's going to disappear because we need to specify a z index on this one, z index 0, and there it is. Now I don't, I think it covers up too much, to be honest. So like one solution here is either to move these up a bit or move the wave down, which is, I think what I did was I moved the wave down. So I can just go here to the bottom and just say -25% or something like that. And there we go, kind of moves it down. Now I don't want this to stretch so much down here. I kind of want it to cut off, right? I don't want my whole container here to grow just because of the wave and just because I'm pushing this down, because I can push this down all the way to -100 and it's going to go all the way down here and the page scrolls too much. So what I'm going to do is just add an overflow hidden to this. Overflow hidden. And now, as you can see, I cannot scroll anymore, even though I'm pushing this down. Theoretically, I can push it down as much as I want. I can do 50% like that, and I cannot scroll because it cuts it off. But I'm going to do 25. I think that's fine. Okay, that's it. That's the whole thing here. Finally, we have the last page, and then we're going to do the footer and the mobile responsiveness. My throat hurts, so this is where we take a little bit of break. Get your water. Hydrate, that's very important. And let's do some squats. This is the content you signed up for. You subscribed. You subscribed. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Are you ready? Oh, was this cutting the thing off? Oh my goodness. Please say it didn't. Please say it didn't. I didn't even know the content was cutting off. I apologize. I should have not been here. I'm gonna place myself here. Okay. So let's do the final one. Let's go to index.html. Let's go after the div here, and this is where we are left. Okay, so the final part is just gonna be a simple coming soon and a footer. So this is gonna be super short. Section, soon, like that. H2 with coming soon, like that. And here I'm just gonna drop in an image, /image. This is gonna be camera soon. And then we're gonna have an image with the circle. So let's grab the circle. Circle PNG. Okay. That's it. That's the whole thing. Let's do the footer as well. Why not? H1. Scroll down here so you can see Leica 2020. You can do the copyright symbol if you're edgy. UL, LI, A, confusion of the highest order. Hashtag, image. This looks terrible, I know. Web development at its finest. We're gonna go to YouTube logo. Okay. We're gonna copy this whole bull thing and paste it 2 more times. And then we're gonna modify this to Twitter and this one to the Webstagrams. Okay, that's it. That's the whole thing. Close this thing up and let's create a soon.css. Make sure it's a partial, so make sure you use the underscore. I'm gonna come and verify you. If you don't, I'm calling your mother. Okay, soon.scss. Super short. Okay, so this is what we have. So soon, I'm going to copy over, go to home, copy over this background gradient, add a min height, position relative. Again, we're going to kind of position the circle and everything, and a z index of 0, because we're going to mess around with the circle too. So in here now, I'm going to grab the image, comma, the circle, comma, h2. Make sure you add the dot here as well. We're going to just position everything in the middle. Position absolute, top 50%, left 50%, and then transform, translate, minus 50%, minus 50%. That's how you center it right here. Why is it not working? Why you do this? Why you do this? Watch Sass. Oh, I need to import the damn thing. So if it doesn't work, go here to your style.scss and import the soon. There we go. Now it works. It's messed up, but it works. So now we can grab the circle and add a z index of -1, like that. And grab the H. Where's the camera and stuff? Is disappeared. What did I do that's not okay? That's the question. So this is 0. The circle is -1, so this should still show up on top. Shouldn't it? Confusion. Confusion. Let's see. Where's my camera? Here's the camera. Let's grab the camera. Image z index 1. Well, no, because let's add a class to this. Let's go here. Oh, let's add a class to the circle. I don't have a class on the circle. There we go. That fixed the issue. So now, let's just grab the H2 and say top 25%. And now it's on the top. So that looks fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's also do the footer. Should we do it here? I think I'm just gonna do it in the, yeah, let's just make it. Why not? Let's make a new footer.scss and make sure we import it now before we forget. Like that. And now we can go here. Super simple. We're kind of gonna do the same thing we did at the nav. So just copy paste almost. Background black, padding left 10%, padding right 10%. I'm just gonna do this and I'll do the width. You can also do this if you don't want to do the width 80% margin auto. Just add padding left, padding right. Display flex, align item center, justify content space between. Again, this is almost copy paste here. Grab the UL display flex, flex 1, list style is gonna be, we should have just copy pasted or just use Sass's import thing, but whatever. Space between, H1, flex 3. Yeah, I should have copy pasted, damn. It's fine. So now we have this. There we go. So that's the whole thing. Now let's also make it a bit mobile friendly because it goes crazy when we get down here and it doesn't look that nice. So let's just do something super basic here. I'm just gonna go here to the style.scss. I'm gonna do it here. You can make another partial if you want. Media, screen, and max width. Let's do 1200 pixels. This is kind of the moment where the website breaks. I kind of verified this beforehand. I'm just gonna make all the fonts a bit smaller. Font size 50%. So now when we get down here, As you can see, the font magically changes. Yeah, I guess we could do this thing here. Like that. So we can easily visualize the thing. So maybe these are getting squeezed a bit too much, aren't they? I'm just gonna increase the size of them. So let's go to the features. Here at the margin, I'm just gonna do something like 5. So they're not that squeezed. Okay. So let's go back here to the mobile. Well, I didn't do it there. I just did it here. Let's fix the nav up first. So nav, I'm gonna grab the logo in here. I'm just gonna add a flex one to it. Like that. And in here, the UL, LI, I'm just gonna add a bit of margin left of 5 rem. All right, let's see the nav. There we go. All right, so I can go pretty small here and it doesn't mess it up. Yeah, that's good. Let's fix this section up here. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of get rid of the columns and just make one. So let's see the structure here. After the nav, so down here, showcase, grid template column, I'm just gonna do 10%, 1FR 10%. That's the whole thing. All right, that's all we need. And it makes just one column. Okay, and now what I can do in here in the showcase is just grab the image, add a width of 100% to it, object fit contain, like that. Now it's still not good. So what we need to do down here, grab the image, H2, and the info, and just move them all in the middle. Grid column, make sure it's in the middle, so 2 to 3. And text align, well, let's see. So as you can see, it just moved everything in the middle column and left the spaces here. Bam. Now what I also want to do is align the text to the center. There we go, text align center. Cool, so that's good, that's good enough. Let's go here, grab the features. Like that, align item center to these. All right, so it just aligns this to the center. Grab the H2, add a bit of margin on top, 5 rem. All right, just pushing this down a bit, like that. Let's grab the cards. Flex direction, we're gonna change to column. So it goes like that now. Good, this looks terrible. So let's add a width of 100% to this. All right, let's add margins too. So let's grab each individual card, margin, 5 rem, 0 rem. All right, so now when it gets squeezed down, I guess it doesn't look that terrible. Yeah, it looks okay. I guess you can add another point maybe here and squeeze this down even more to something like 60, like that. And then when you get super small, you can have 100% here. So it's like that. All right, so here 100%, and here maybe at this size, maybe have 80%. All right, so you just make another media query and that's gonna fix it all up. But so far it's pretty good, looks fine. Down here, I just add the soon. All right, I'm just gonna do a super basic one. I noticed there's a little problem here. You can scroll horizontally when it gets to this side because of the circle. So I just added an overflow hidden to it. And then in here, I just grab the image and change the width of it to 60% to make it kind of smaller like that. And grab the H2. And there might be a problem of this text looking kind of weird. So just change the font size of it, 5 rem, a bit smaller, and text align center. Like that. Yeah, it's fine. It's not too bad. Okay. And we can kind of apply the same thing to the footer like we did up there. So we can do footer, H1, flex 1, and hit save. Okay, and that gives us way more space. So there we go, a little website here made from scratch. If you also want to do this, I forgot to say, if you want this to move with you, the nav here, let's go to the home and find the nav. And what we can do is just add a position sticky to it. So nav container, position sticky. We can add a top of 0 and a z-index of 2. And that's it. Now it comes with us magically. There we go. Very cool. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. I know it was a bit too long and my voice is kind of cracking up, so I apologize for that. But hope you enjoyed it. If you want to use it, work on it, experiment with it, do whatever you want with it. And I also apologize for me being here and blocking the text. So sorry about that. Unprofessional. Not acceptable. Okay, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.